want, you can be present.
Just started right at it. I introduce myself. My name's
I was gonna ask you how you want to be like titled as.
Saint
You
Life.
can just leave it.
Yeah.
No, son, that's not what I mean.
Saint Life, how the title should be. Like,
That's not what I mean. I mean it as like boxing like what titles do you want me to, or do you want me to just introduce you how I know you as, and then you can give
You're
yourself.
An island girl, I'm an island boy. We both in America, trying to make it, hustling.
Okay.
You could play the way you want.
Okay, I'm gonna play it the way I'm gonna play.
I can't stand this girl.
We good? You know he's gonna get louder, so yeah. Yeah. It's okay. I want you to be that though. Like, don't be. This is not
I want
like.
to stow it. I want people to.
Why? No.
I want to know.
Dawson, look at me right now. Hold my hand. I want to hold your hand when I say this. I need you to be like we're just in your living room.
I don't be like this in my living room, wilding out. I be chilling. We be having deep conversations.
But we be giggling.
All right. If I throw a joke in
You
there
get what
too.
I'm saying? Like.
Damn, I forgot to use my nasal spray. Damn. I got the sniffles.
I've been sick. This smells like carriages. Oh, that's a cute glass. I thought it was mango. Just like by itself. That's a cute glass. Yeah. Okay. Oh. You ready, sir? Welcome to the ICU. I clapped it. He tried to clap with me. Oh my fucking God, this is gonna be so. Tell me when I'm at like close to an hour, because me and him are gonna. Welcome to the ICU podcast, a safe space for self-reflection, personal development, and self-awareness. It's your girl, Candace Chung. I am so excited. Welcome to the ICU podcast. It's your girl, Candace, and I have someone very special to me. He gonna take this to his chest, head, every part that you can think of. The man that taught me how to fight, and that it has definitely been proven in my life that he's taught me a skill that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life as long as I continue to practice. Longtime friend and one of my favorite people in my life right now, Dawson Saint Jour.
I'm fine with that. I take that.
How you doing? He walked in and he saw my fit and he felt like I was trying to be like him when I feel like more than half the time he really trying to be like me, because regardless, you wearing it, but like who's wearing it better?
I'm older, so I knew colors before she knew colors. So green and black go good with chocolate skin. That's it.
I did. This is the second time this has happened though. Like really, that I've matched with someone and it's like, are we in sync like that? Because that's.
Both of us was Haitians, by the way.
Yes, they are both Haitians. This happened with Dan. When Dan came, he's the one that brought it up to me. Shout out to Dan, that we literally were like coordinating. It's not matching, but we are like matching right now. Yeah. Like we are, other than shoes. Y'all can't see my shoes though. But I want you to start at your story as, yes, I know long story, right? But
oh Jesus!
Wait, I'm gonna give you a center point to base it off of. How you came to feel like you needed to add to people's life by teaching them a skill. Because we know you started boxing from young. Yeah. Like, I know that.
I started boxing from young. It's just one of my closest friends that I know for like 22, 23 years, Antonio. He was being bullied in school. 20 kids came out to jump him. And instead of letting them, like everybody else probably would have let him just be outside getting jumped by 20 kids. I didn't speak English back then either. So he runs up. Now, I spoke English a little bit, but not well enough to understand everything he was telling me. He runs up into my driveway, and when he ran up, he was like, yo, these kids are getting ready to jump me. I don't know what to do. What do you think I should do? I always see you training and shadow boxing and working
How
out.
old are you?
I'm like, what, middle school, 10th grade? No, 10th grade.
Okay.
And he's like in the 9th grade.
Okay.
And he's just like, yo, they're gonna jump me. I was dating one of the girls from the neighborhood and I broke up with her. She spread lies and said I call it the B word. So now you got 20 boys who got a crush on this one girl coming in there to beat them up for her honor or whatever, the honor of the neighborhood. And he's explaining this to me, so I only got like half of what he was saying. So next thing you know, I look up, there's a bunch of kids in my driveway.
Oh, this is at your house.
It's at my house.
He came to your house.
He ran in my house while I was pushing, I was bench pressing in the driveway.
Okay.
Because my mom was like, oh, he has so much aggression. I was not this funny kid that you know so well and love and all that. I was very violent, and my mom was like, I need to get him things in the house to get his aggression out. So she bought me bench press, she bought me dumbbells, she bought me a heavy bag, and I tied the heavy bag to a tree. So I was always training, always working out because I didn't speak enough English, and I felt like I was always going to go to war with the African Americans in the school versus me being Haitian American or just being Haitian in general. Mm-hmm. So he runs up in the driveway, situation happened. All of them was getting ready to jump on, but they knew who I was from middle school. I fought at Candace, but I said I fought so many times in middle school. Okay. Oh my God, my mom hated me. My mom hated going back to the school over and over and over again, but they knew of me. So nobody jumped him. Everybody was like, man, tell him step out of the driveway so we can, beat his ass. I didn't. I said, if y'all gonna fight him fair, one-on-one, for whoever have the biggest beef with him, y'all fight him. Antonio ended up fighting 5 people that day. I felt bad.
I mean, you narrowed it down.
I narrowed it down. Do you want 20 people stomping you out? Or do you want to get a fair fight?
20%.
20%. Like that. So I knocked the number down. So even from there, I was convincing them that, and then they took it. He fought 5 kids. Because he was getting ready to run. And I was like, bro, if you run now, you're just going to be running forever. So you might as well face
a bar at such a young age.
Yeah, right?
A bar.
I was listening to motivational quotes since then. But I told him if he ran, he was going to be running forever. And he was like, all right, what do you think I should do? I was like, you got to fight each and every one of them one-on-one. And eventually, when they see everybody getting punched in the face, the ones that really want to fight is going to fight. And the ones who don't want to fight ain't going to fight. Trust. Mm-hmm. Like, trust me. And if they jump in, I got your back. I don't even know Antonio by then. He fought the first one, the second one. I started looking around. Antonio was pretty strong, but he didn't know how to throw punches yet. So he just get him in a headlock. The
reason why I know who Antonio is because I met this man in DC, and similarly, I found him under a bridge. And that's how I saw him fighting under a bridge, or like training people to fight under a bridge. And I met Antonio through him. So that's why, we have 6 years of knowing. That's why I know who that is. But go ahead.
So he ended up fighting all 5 kids. The last kid was not a kid. He was like one of the adults of the gang or the group that was running around, neighborhoods and sets and all that. So he was like, you're going to fight another person. You're going to fight another person. He's like, Antonio was just, at this point, Antonio's anxiety, depression, whatever you want to consider it, what goes on to the emotions that go on when you have to fight someone. He didn't want to fight no more. That dude was like so pissed off, but I feel like that was a moment of him seeing weakness, and he knew he could exploit it because the kid just didn't want to fight anymore. Mm-hmm. You should never force somebody to want to fight. That just puts you in the advantage of you're the alpha in your mind.
You look like a bully.
Like a bully, yeah. So, didn't fight, and the dude just started try to stomp his head in the ground. Couldn't hurt Antonio, but he like tripped him, kept hitting him, and I had to grab him, throw him off of Antonio, picked up Antonio, like, the dude don't want to fight. It's over. Like, y'all fought 5 of y'all fought him, y'all did what y'all needed to do, leave him be. They left him alone.
See, this is the thing though. I asked what brought you to know that you wanted that to like be your thing, essentially, right? You didn't know Antonio. You just knew that you loved him, or like why were you so willing to just?
Because when I first came to this country, and that's what got me into boxing. That's what got me wanting to learn how to defend myself. Because the man who knows how to defend himself has more confidence within himself, and you have to have the confidence knowing that you've drilled and trained. There's a lot of people walk in this world that they feel like they're confident and they're really cocky. And cocky to me is like you've never trained nor had discipline in whatever you're confident about. Mm-hmm. Like if you drove 100 different cars and you're a racer, you will have a lot of confidence in yourself. If you only drove 2 cars and you think you're like an expert, that's just cocky to me. You don't really know how to do what you're saying that you know how to do, but through sheer discipline and training, that's what gives you that confidence within yourself. But when I saw Antonio, he was going through what he was going through. I was being bullied like that when I first came to this country. So by me getting bullied like that, I looked at him and saw the energy that I was having in the past. But I was a violent kid, so I did everything I needed to do to win. And
Yeah, can you tell me more about that? You've never.
like think about like.
What do you think that anger was like rooted in?
Oh, because I was living with I was probably with my mom and my father in Haiti till I was 6 or 5 years old. And then they just sent me to my aunt and my uncle, 2 people I've never met, never seen. And I have to live in there with about 6 or 5 different kids I've never seen. So now all my cousins, I'm living with them. My brother and my sister have to leave behind because I kept getting sick in Haiti too often. So I was born in America and went back to Haiti.
Okay.
Then my mom sent me back. So now here they are telling me that, oh, your mom and your actual mom is coming to pick you up. And I'm just like, what? You are my mom. You are my dad. Whatever. And now I had a certain type of discipline from my aunt and my uncle in New York. And here's my mom doing it by herself and trying to be as aggressive as my uncle or my aunt. It was just like, the way to discipline me was to whip me. So if a kid came out of line with me, I'm giving you the same treatment I'm getting at home. If you get out of line with me, I'm going to discipline you.
That's raw to say. So do you think that boxing is a way that someone can, it's better to express an emotion, or do you think it keeps you from actually feeling the emotion and just taking it out like that, Because I do find, I'm going to go into a whole other topic, but I'm just going to say this now. A lot of people that box are angry, or they start at anger.
Yeah, some you can say starts at anger. Others is you have a lot of energy, ADHD. Some people do it for competition. Some people do it for a skill that they want to learn. Some people do it because they're bored and they want to learn something. Right?
Not like a one size fits all, but like people that...
There's people that are the happiest people, but in boxing saves them, like an emotion, like mental health type of issue. So if you have a mental health issue and you learn how to deal with the emotion by punching something as hard as you can, boom, it's like a monkey is off your back.
Right. No, yeah. It's like a form of, it's an outlet. It's 100% an outlet. But do you think that it keeps you in that because
It's better a heavy bag of mints than a person's face and be in jail.
Yes, definitely 100%. That.
100%. That's why I say regular people regular people who don't know how to manage their anger runs towards anger. And the person who boxes and trains and or actually spars and gets punched in the face, they know all the energy it takes to go through those channels and steps. Ain't no fighter gonna rush with no protection in their hands and knuckles to go punch somebody in the face. You will have to be antagonizing them for them to walk around and want to do something like that to you, or they have mental health issues or something like that.
Right. Okay, because my thing was that I was wondering if it's something that you feel like as you go through the movement and as you practice and as you discipline yourself in it, like that anger lessens, or does it just stay where it's at or even heighten because now you know what you can do?
For me, training all the kids in the inner city, you teach boxing to them, but their personality is their personality.
Right.
And when you teach boxing to them, it's like you're in position of power. So you get to feed them information that's like nutrients to their soul, their spirit. And then by teaching them how to defend themselves while giving them confidence, you telling them when to use it, when not to. Like how Spider-Man in the moment, he was like,
that's the part.
With great power comes great responsibility. Now that you know how to protect yourself, do you want to be the root of all evil?
Right, just walling.
Or are you that superhero that want to save the kid from the bully? That's the catch-22. When you learn something that makes you different, or you feel like you have a tool that other people don't have, or you're just gonna use, like, is that your power to dominate everyone around you? No. Some kids, they just know, I'm gonna walk the line, be good, and I'm just gonna defend the people who can't defend themselves.
Have you ever had someone that uses the powers for no good?
No, look at Tony.
I don't think Tony don't go around punching people in the face.
I remember one time he knocked somebody out in the ring. He ran out of the ring thinking he was going to get jumped.
No, I'm saying in your coaching experience, have you taught someone and you see them not use it well? They mismanage the power. of the scale.
I always
And they do
say-
start wilding, or they do,
Those
you
are the
know, because they know they
kids-
can.
Yeah, those are the kids you have to do extra work on because based on conversation, you have to, the number one thing of being a good coach is having conversation. The more I have conversation with you, I'm gonna figure out and pinpoint what am I gonna use as a mental tool to either make you aggressive, to make you dial back, want to be a good person, whatever the case might be. That's what it is. So when you're having these kids that are talking from a violent standpoint, but they love learning how to box, then you give them that mindset. If you fight outside of this, you don't come back here.
No, yeah, I think kids are way more impressionable, but
Yeah.
you coach adults as well.
Adults too.
So it's like sometimes I was waiting for you to essentially say that you've like taught a grown man how to fight, and now he's like wilding, like just knowing that he can like fuck up whoever he wants to fuck
it's
up.
more the girls more than the guys.
Okay, fair.
You know, like society now, a lot of women are doing a lot of squats. They're building a lot of testosterone. You talk to them spicy, they might start to swinging on you. So I'll say women been abusing men from my clientele. But yeah, I haven't got a male yet that just went around like, but I'm sure that because they know how to box, they walk around with more gusto type of energy. Like, I wish you would.
Yeah, no, for real. So besides, we know you are a great boxer. We know you're one of the greatest boxing coaches. Other than, you're welcome.
I try to be modest, but Lord,
I mean, if you don't say it, they're not gonna know. Like, how they gonna know?
I take that. I'm getting there.
But we've been cool for a long time, you know? And even just as we both got to Miami, or I got to Miami because I got here after you, I found out more things about you. So it's called I See You, Going Beyond the Surface for a reason. So I want...
Put me in the ICU.
Already have, no, I'm joking.
Man, facts.
Other than boxing, what is a way that you have dealt with your own anger?
Outside of boxing, I picked up a lot of hobbies. I started shooting guns. That scared me. You know, when you first pulled
Another
the trigger,
violent act, no. I thought you were gonna...
I ain't going around shooting people, though. Shooting.
Okay, good.
I shoot guns competitively. I've been learning. I've been going to different like gun ranges. When I was back in DC before I moved here,
To deal with anger, that's like...
Because I wanted to do something that made me have to really strip down and actually like let another person teach me.
Okay.
You want to feel like a beginner all over again. When you feel like a beginner all over again, it gives you goals. It gives you discipline for you to stay organized and for you to achieve that goal. And if you don't achieve that goal, you'll feel like a quitter. Like, you know that meme where...
Okay, wait. Let's draw back. I don't know if you want to share this. I'm going to ask you, though. What makes you angry? Because I'm going to tell you why I'm asking you that. Hold on to that question, because you're telling me something that you do when you're angry. But what if you're not able to get to the range all the time? Or like...
I do other things.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu, knife fighting, cooking classes. I just picked up horseback riding.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Horseback riding in South Beach. That's pretty dope.
Okay.
I picked that up. Let me see. Drawing. I draw now.
That's what I was waiting for. That was the first one that I was hoping would come out.
Drawing is another one.
He said guns. Yeah. He said knives. He said jujitsu. I was like, damn.
Yeah. I learned how to I wanted to learn drawing so when my son grows up, you know, I could either, whatever he wants to learn, his daddy is a one-stop shop.
Okay, multifaceted.
If you want to learn how to shoot guns, son, like this movie actor, let me show you. I'm going to teach you. Let me make it safe. You could take your kid at a gun range. You could, earliest age of 5 and teach them gun safety. It's so crazy. This world is so crazy. Yeah, America is crazy.
But did you want to share? You don't have to share what makes you angry, but that was the reason why. Because you were going into the gun thing, and I was like, but what if people don't have access to, you know, like that caliber of an experience?
Yeah, I mean, the things that make me angry is people that, you know, question your purpose, a person that can go... I mean, you shouldn't care what a lot of people say because the vision is given to you, not them, so they would never understand where you're coming from when you're passionate about what you're passionate about. But people that just go against you, and people that tarnishes your name, and they're the closest ones to you, like family, friends, relationships, and stuff like that. But usually random people don't really bother me. People cutting me off in my lane don't bother me because I'm still going to get to where I need to go. Stepping on my shoes in the club ain't gonna bother me. I don't really go clubbing like that, but none of the stuff like that. It's the people that knows you the most that finds way to disrespect you, and you look at them like you should know not to do that, because I would never go out of my way to do that.
Well, yeah, I feel like this, like, I don't think it's an original quote, but somebody was telling me, like, hurt only hurts because it's from people that you love. Because you don't get hurt by people you don't know. You don't get hurt by strangers, or you shouldn't, really. Like, if you have a strong sense of self, you don't. So it's like, that's why disrespect be feeling so heavy.
So heavy.
As opposed to, you know, somebody runs up to you and a random person's like, you're ugly. Like, it's like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? Like, unless you truly believe that about yourself, you're not gonna be frazzled or anything, you know? So that is why, like, hurt be, and all the negative emotions, when they come from someone that, like, you genuinely had love for and that you thought knew you, it's like, and that turns, like, that's what makes it, like, such a pivotal moment. Like, whoa, this is not what this was.
110%.
Like, what?
When it crushes you, it crushes you. But you got to figure out, okay, talking to this person is not going to, me telling the person how I feel is not going to stop their actions. Me sacrificing my happiness is not going to stop their abuse. Me, like, it's so many variations of what people try to do. Like, maybe if I love her more, or maybe if I love him more, he'll stop. Or he'll love me back. Maybe if I let them get away with it every time they disrespect me, maybe they'll love me more. Like certain guys with their mothers and stuff like that, or their fathers or whatever. Maybe if I do this action, it's gonna create this reaction. And it's not like that. You can't control nobody else. You only can control yourself. And the first thing in life I feel like you need to love is your self-respect.
It's your self-respect.
Self-respect, because if you look at anybody that goes against their self-respect, how they really think about themselves. And when you think harmful about yourself, what do you think you're going to do to me?
You, like, harm... I feel like everybody's definition of self-respect may look different.
Everybody's definition is different, but the way you view yourself, if, like, let's say if you don't...
Like, in high regard, you mean? Like, regardless of whatever...
What kind of pedestal do you put yourself
right,
on?
Okay.
My pedestal is a goddamn a crown and a king castle chair. It was freaking fur and a bear and a wolf and a lion rug in front of me. I feel like that type of person. So when somebody goes against that self-respect and how I look at myself, or they put themselves higher than me, then it's just like, no, I gotta X you out. And sometimes you blinded by it based on the level of love you want to give to someone, but your self-respect is the number one key thing. And that's what I try to pump into everybody when I teach boxing too. To have self-respect for yourself, because if you put your hand down, I slap you with the mitt to your face. The number one place in life that you feel like takes away all your self-respect is getting slapped in the face. Okay? Slapped in the face, punched in the face is all your self-respect. So I'm going to make sure you know how to protect that. And if you protect that, you protect self. If you protect self, ain't nobody going to fuck with you.
So how do you deal with disrespect? I know you don't automatically fight.
No.
I think that people have that mentality about fighters, though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I be out with y'all, I'd be like, ain't nobody fuck with us. Like, they're gonna die. So it's like, I mean, if you want to die, then you can die. But, like, at the same time, we don't need those problems either. Yeah. Like, it doesn't need to, if it escalates to that, then it would take a lot of pushing from the other side. But I know that that's not, like, what you guys want.
I'll say I'm a little bit passive.
Okay.
If it goes there, it goes there. If it don't, then it don't. But if somebody touches me,
you be wanting it too.
Deep down inside, yeah, because you train so hard, and you be wanting somebody to step out.
Give me a reason.
Give me a reason. Because they think I'm gonna box. Like, no. I know what I can do in the ring.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people that know you and know what you do and know what you're good at, you would think that, like, you know, there are people that have lower vibrations and they play on light workers and people that are of higher frequency to get a reaction. So do you encounter people that they want you to punch them? They may want to be a victim. And dealing with disrespect, like, they will blatantly disrespect you, so you do something, so they can then be like, yeah.
I'll show you the level of disrespect. I'll give you a couple ones that I had to walk away from, or ones I didn't walk away from.
Okay.
If the disrespect is towards me,
Example of each, please.
Yes. If the disrespectful is towards me, I can easily walk away. My self-respect is a bubble around me. If you physically touch me, if your spit physically touch me, if you physically touch me, if whatever drink you had in your hand physically touched, I'm airing out on your hands. Everything, all my techniques of everything I do, I'm gonna hit you with it. And I'm gonna hit you first, fast, quick, and you ain't going, it's not gonna be no reaction to nothing. But then there's a different disrespect where you disrespect the person now. Now here's this person that's coming out with me from the safe, and I'm if it's a female and I have to be the protector and you slap her ass.
That's crazy.
I'm killing you. Maybe you say something.
That's happened.
Of 100%, twice.
Somebody slapped the booty cheek of the girl that you was with.
When I say I was walking into the movie theater and this freaking knucklehead slaps her ass, and how I knew she got her ass slapped, first she jumped, my eyes went down, and her butt cheek was still wobbling, and
Oh my God!
I had to do what I did. I moved her to. I didn't push her. I moved her out to the side. Before he can say what, I aired off on his quarter right in his mouth. Done.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I had to fight his other
But
friends.
do you get in trouble for that? Like, does it come to a certain place when you've been practicing the craft enough that like you can get in trouble?
You can go to jail.
I've thought about that because these hands get certified.
I know a couple of my friends who fights put somebody in a coma.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if
they
you
went to
really
jail.
hurt someone, you are in trouble. You gotta
You hit somebody hard enough and their head hits smashing
cement or something.
It's a wrap. But
So how do you choose those battles?
you just gotta look at weigh the option and don't get clouded by emotions.
You don't feel like that was emotional?
I give people 3 options, but
You don't feel like what you just told me was emotional?
it's emotional based on you just disrespecting my self-respect. If I don't do anything, I'm gonna go home and I have to live with that trauma. That I went out in the world and somebody out in the world that they were dealing with whatever frequency they were in, and they came in and tried to create a black cloud above my head. Like, guess what? You did something. I'm gonna show you what my mom and my uncle used to teach me if you did something to me. Or you do something, what they teach you in school? Keep your hands, your feet to yourself, and treat others the way you do.
It has to be initiated, y'all.
Yeah.
It has
I'm
to
not
be.
gonna start anything. If I see you, peace, love.
So speaking of emotional, mental battles with boxing, what is something that you've experienced has been the toughest for you to overcome emotionally while you were going through training?
Like going through training growing up or going through training.
Whatever experience you want to pull on, the most profound one.
2 of them then if you want to go. Okay, growing up as a kid is just never getting beat up and getting knocked out, because I've seen videos of after you get knocked out and people who are not trained will just keep attacking you when you're already concussed.
So did you like build up pride essentially?
I built up that I would never get put to sleep like that.
There it is.
Wait. The second one, the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome while in the middle, fighting for my son, Lee. Oh, going to court, talking to the court system, already having them prejudge me and stuff like that, and going there, putting myself on child support, asking for visitation and stuff like that. And I had to go train, and I had to go train clients, and I had to put their emotions above mine. That I'll say was like the hardest thing. Because, my family is big on family. And I have 8 nieces and nephews. I have a brother and a sister. We have a big family. We came here with only just 3 of us. Oh, me, my mom, my brother, and my sister. I think that's everybody. But we came here as a family, and when my brother had kids, I was their babysitter. When my sister had kids, I was their babysitter. They had kids at the same time. My nephew Derwin and my other nephew Javille, and they're 2 months apart. So I'm every day taking them to school for 5-6 years, making sure they got their school clothes on while I'm living with my brother, making sure everybody's going to school on time, making sure I pick them up after work, because as a trainer, you have a flexible schedule. I just got to make sure the schedule fits when I have to pick up my nephews. So I've already felt like I had kids for like 5 years, picking them up, dropping them off, making sure they do their homework, going back to school, disciplining them if they didn't do what they had to do. And now it's like 8 of them now, like guinea pigs.
So it's your own.
I only have 1 yet.
Right.
That's one of my own, yes.
And what is an emotional and mental battle that you see people have a hard time moving through when you're training them? I would assume it's self-doubt, right?
It's not just self-doubt,
Or like-
it's what they're going through in their personal life. A lot of people in this world, I feel like, has imposter syndrome. They feel like they don't belong to where they belong to. They feel like they're not enough. So somebody somewhere in their family told them they wasn't enough. Some friend that they had that was toxic and they didn't realize they had a toxic friend told them their views or their values or their mindset didn't matter. Somebody at work, or, you know, just the capitalism mindset of you getting employee of the month or being the best employee or not the best employee, or who has the most important job and who doesn't. All that plays a factor of somebody you think is better than you. Somebody could have more than you, but that doesn't make them better than you. I always thought how you treat others makes you just a good person. But people, status is what people strive for. So a lot of people, I just try to get them to disconnect from the world and just focus on their world.
Right.
And when you can control that and you can control your training, you can't think of anything out of your mind when a mitt is flying at you about to hit your self-respect in the face. So you got to empty your mind in that moment. For 1 hour, they see their growth. They see they elevated, so they think about themselves different. They have more confidence.
That's interesting. I thought you were going to say, like, I know I came to you with a lack of self-confidence. Yeah. Like, you could see it in my movement. Like, you could definitely grew.
Butterfly, behind the camera, talking, all this type of, listen, different now.
I was stiff. I definitely came to, I mean, I wouldn't say I was dealing with imposter syndrome, but I was definitely dealing with, like, belonging. Like, when I found you guys, it was because I had just left a community, or got pushed out of a community because I got pushed out of the military, and I didn't know how to make friends. Like, I didn't know how to make friends in an area other than from work. Yeah. And obviously you make friends a lot in our younger age from association, from school, you're in the same class, you live in the same neighborhood. So that was my first introduction. Like, I want to make friends and I want to be in a community where people value what I value. And I just genuinely didn't know how to go about it. Yeah. And I found this man under a bridge in the search of doing so, but I definitely did not have, and I can see it in my old videos, like, I had a lot of self-doubt. Like, I was just like, I don't know how to,
you
like.
Show the highlights. While she talking, show the highlights. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. No, but it was very, like, you can very clearly see, like you said, see your growth through boxing. Like, it is a very, like, if you document it, you're gonna see it. And it happens rather quickly than it has in any other sport that I've participated in. Like, I'm always in a transversal sport, like whether it's tennis. I was telling Callie that I should try golf because it all takes, like this. But I realized that from boxing that I was just like, this is a companion and a solo sport. Like, whether I have no one or whether I have all the people, I can do this at any point in time that I find feasible. That's why I'm like, I don't feel like I'll ever leave it because I don't need anyone to do it. And it only depends on me to do it. And it has, I mean,
Tell them the story. She went to Colombia, y'all. Listen, she went to Colombia. She walked out of the salsa club.
So when I moved to Miami, I told him this story. I was living in Colombia, and me and one of my best friends, Mabel, shout out to Mabel. Man, she's so raw for this because it all was recorded. We were in Santa Marta, and there's something in Colombia called dar papaya, and it essentially means, like, don't set yourself up for failure. We were dar papaya, like, it was giving that all together. Just left the club, salsa dancing, bachata dancing, like, her birthday's 2 days after mine, so our birthdays were happening. I think the morning that it happened, it was turning into my birthday. And we're walking home, we're like, oh my God, drinks, and we're like, oh my God, that was so amazing. And she stops, I'm recording her, she stops to touch some cats. Shorty got a thing for animals, anywhere we go, like, it's gonna stop. And I'm recording her and I'm giggling, and we hear a moto from the back of the street, because we're the only ones on this street. And we hear a moto come by, and I'm gonna insert the clip because it's like, I don't know how to explain how everything else happened because it happened so fast. Like, this all happened in under a minute, like maybe two, that two people were on a moto, one hopped off, one rushed me. I didn't know that this man had a knife in his hand and apparently was holding the butt of the knife to my neck. And I had some scratches, so I understand that to be true, but I didn't see it, the adrenaline or whatever. So he's on top of me, and he wanted my phone. Like, they wanted my phone. I don't believe they wanted to hurt me. They genuinely could have hurt me if they wanted to. also God's favorite, so like they weren't going to regardless. But all that to say, yeah, like I pushed this man off me. I still got my phone in my hand, but I'm like beating him with my left arm, and I'm on like he has now pressed me down to the ground, and she was far enough away because I'm like, why is this girl not helping me? That I threw my phone to her, and it landed, still recording, and she runs away. That is what's happening in the clip with my phone. It didn't break. It didn't, nothing. Everything intact. We found help. We got a police escort all the way back to where we needed to go. But we sat in the hotel room and I stared at the floor for like 45 minutes. She stared at the wall and she was like, what in the reaction was that? Why you didn't just give him your phone? Like, was it that deep? And I'm like, first of all, it's my birthday. Yeah, I'm in a foreign country. How easy would it have been to get an iPhone? But as a disclaimer, do not do that. Don't do that. If you are getting robbed, you can replace whatever they are trying to take from you. Just give it to them. However, I genuinely believe that this reaction of him also maybe not even being able to hurt me was he didn't think that I was so strong or had the reactivity that I had. Mm-hmm. And it was because of boxing. Like when I left DC, I found a trainer in Mexico and I found a trainer in Medellin as well. Like I have not stopped since I've started really. Like there's been gaps, but if you let the gaps give you an excuse, like you will stop and then you will feel bad about yourself and it will turn into all these negative emotions. Like I'm like, I genuinely love this thing. I don't care if there's a language barrier. Like I have to figure out how to continue doing it. And again, it's a solo sport. You can watch YouTube videos. Like me and him weren't speaking at the time, but you can FaceTime whoever is supporting you in that. And I definitely, every time I tell the story, people are like, what in the reaction? And I cannot
That's a Saint reaction. You run up, you get done up.
I had not been training for a long time. It was
like 2 years. It was 2 years before you.
It was barely a year.
It was 2 years.
It was barely a year, Dawson.
When you left.
It was
when
barely.
I trained you?
I started in 2021.
Oh, damn.
I left from Mexico in 2022. It was barely a year. It was almost a year, I think. Yeah.
It was a year then.
It was probably a year.
It was a year of training, of course. When you train with Saint, well, yeah.
We were in that garage drilling, so
I'm talking. If you run up, you get done up. That's
twice a week at 2 p.m. Yes. In that garage, bumping music, getting to it. Like I really found belonging in a community. He had built up a community.
A lot of people, I think like 150.
Of a lot of people where on Sundays we would commit to boxing under this bridge. I'm talking like, it gets cold in DC. It may not be all the way up north, but it gets cold.
All the way through the year too.
And all the way through the year outside training. Like we were really, so when I say that, when I'm asking about the emotions, I know I went through every emotion. Whether it was because of the weather, whether it was because I was going through something, and it was like, we were all watching each other go through emotions as well. Like in the community, we all were very cohesive and supported each other. So to watch everyone go through their emotions, but still cling to this one thing was like, it was really a shared value. And it was like a beautiful season of life to be in.
I send you the videos so you can show them how large that community got to.
Yeah, it was huge. And it's just like, I learned so much about self-confidence in that era of time because I don't think that, you would think that the military was like, okay, cheerio. But like I was attached to a uniform. It was something that got taken from me, essentially. Like when you attach yourself to something that can be taken from you, like what do? I didn't know what to do. So literally, this is a skill that nobody can take from me, even if they wanted to. Like you're gonna have to dissect my brain or something to get there. But like, this is something that I had to gain for my self-confidence because I know nobody can take it away from me. I know that the discipline that it took through these years now plays into other parts of my life in when I need to protect myself. Like, that's why this is like, it's more than boxing. Like, it really is like, people be like, oh, you're like a diehard boxer. Yes. Yeah. Whoop your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this thing has actually helped me heal. Like, it's really me versus myself when I'm shadow boxing and I'm tired at 1 minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talking crazy to myself. Like, it really teaches you self-talk, self-confidence. Not only just, there's so many layers to it. And, like, that's what life is. Like, there's layers to life. It's not black and white, And, like, I feel like a lot of people assume that it's just black and white. You fight or you don't. You get your ass whipped or you don't. When it's like, the in-between is so heavy. Yeah. is so heavy.
You don't know the emotions that go
it's self-discovery. Like, I discovered so much of myself through this sport and the people that I've been around, because y'all are rough sometimes. Yeah. Rough at the mouth, rough at the grip, rough at all.
You know Emiliano.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy,
like,
Lord
it's like, it's wild to think about how it can be documented as well, because it'll be seen through your movements. It's gonna be seen through who you put yourself around. Like, you can very clearly see it. So,
by the way, all coaches are not.
Oh, talk about it. Yeah. What makes you different? Talk about it.
I feel like you gotta love what you do. Some people do it for a check. Some people do it for the fact that they want to say, I'm involved in boxing, the boxing community. Some people do it for status, but you will know the coaches that actually want to see you be great. Like, even if whatever selfish reasons why I want to, when I get to a person that don't know how to defend themselves, or they're not as coordinated as you would like them to be, I like to know that, okay, this is a project. Here's my due date. I got 3 months to make sure you know how to, I'm going to get you locked in on all these drills. And by the 3rd month, these drills are going to be easy to you. And I'm going to give you a new set of drills. And it's just a new set of tasks. And I'm just building you as I go, watching and assessing and seeing where you at, where can I push you, where can I fill in the gaps. And you do the same thing in your own personal life. Mm-hmm. And when I can conquer a project, I conquer myself. Because it's the patience that you don't have that you're constantly going against as a real coach. A lot of coaches don't have patience. A lot of coaches, if they don't have patience, they'll just put you in the corner and not even have their eyes on you. And then it takes you 2 years to actually look at it. I've seen coaches that have been training people for 4 years and they stay trash. I seen coaches
that's like his favorite sport. He'd be like, 2 weeks, 2 years.
Yeah. All right.
That's so
I've seen coaches that teach technique, and I just be looking at every other coach in the gym, and I just be like, bro, did you see what I just saw? I was like, yup. I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna even judge.
I mean, like you said, though, people box for different reasons. Like, not everybody really wants to, like, learn the skill to have it as a defense mechanism. Some people just want cardio.
I think those people need to just stop.
He said it's a waste. It's a waste, my team.
It's like, you can't do cardio in a real life situation.
Doesn't.
And there's no
You just said
around.
Earlier that people do it for different reasons, not just because they're angry.
People do it for
some people do it for cardio.
Fighting is not necessarily angry to me. Fighting is, I can protect myself for 15 minutes till the cops actually show up.
Fair.
That's what you need to learn, whatever it is. If shit goes down and there's not a cop around,
go by myself.
I can hold myself together for 15 minutes at least until I get help or a police officer show up on scene. And that's where people believe too wholeheartedly on the government and police officers, black people in general. Oh, you think you can call 911 and think you're gonna get the same police officer and what their job title demands of them every single time? There's times in this world that if I handle some shit, I'm gonna handle it by my goddamn self. And if I can get home, I'm not gonna call 911. I'm not distraught. I did an action, I did what I had to do, and I went and took my ass home, and that person learned a valuable lesson. Run up and get done up if it's the wrong person. Maybe I changed their profession. Maybe robbing ain't what they want to do anymore. Whatever case might be. But I'm not going to put my money and faith on every human being that's just coming to rob me is just coming to rob me, and they're just going to leave. I'm going to assess before I do anything. If you're just coming from my phone and shit like that, I might just give it to you, put both of my hands up. It's not necessary. You have a gun on me, whatever.
Just learn that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's very viable.
But if I know from the look in your eye, the way you look, the way you smell, the way I feel, like
the energy be heavy.
If I'm reading your energy and you're gonna do more,
like you're trying to be malicious,
like you're gonna kill me because you hate yourself, and you're just gonna destroy me because you want to erase me from this world. Oh, I'm fighting for my life. Like I'm fighting. I'm giving you hell. That's
why I say those people in my situation, if they wanted to hurt me, they definitely could have. Like they had a tool.
They have to drop on you. They could have just stabbed you.
They had a tool. I was not all the way conscious. Like that is.
But I tell women, like I teach women self-defense too. I taught women self-defense in Washington D.C. for the longest time, and I told women like when I was getting these videos accessible to me of all these women getting raped, kidnapped, and all that in Washington D.C. And I had shout out to Eric Watson. I had a SWAT police officer who was a brown belt, I think black belt now in jiu-jitsu. And he was helping me with the classes. So we can show women how to...
I remember this.
Yeah. So we can show women how to get out of locks, how to get out of chokes, so they can get home safe. If you would have seen these videos I saw, there's a technique where a guy walks up on a girl while she's walking. He takes the belt loop, goes over her head with the belt loop, and runs. When he runs, the belt instantly starts choking the girl out. Tighter. She's holding the belt, pass out, and then he rapes her in the corner of 2 cars. They got techniques to shit. There's people that are not coming to rob you. Man. They're coming to rob you of your spirit, of your life, of your time, of your essence. And now you sitting at home traumatized.
Yeah, that's to break your soul. Like, you know.
Getting robbed or traumatized.
Yeah, I was shook. I was so paranoid for the longest time. Like, I didn't walk around on my phone for the longest. Like, in America, not in America, my phone was staying in my bag or my pocket because that's what got me into that situation. That's what they wanted. So, yeah, that's, ooh.
And some people stay at home and never leave their front yard.
The fear,
fear.
Yeah.
Anxiety, the fear.
I'm really grateful it didn't do that to me.
You gotta be understanding, man. Like, when we were all born in this world, we all was born with a level of pain that we had to feel. When you came out of the womb, you was in a level of pain that have no understanding. Everything was a blank canvas. You grew as a kid. How is it you had no fear of committing suicide as a baby? And there's people out here that get rid of themselves. When you was a baby, you had to learn how to walk. You was on your belly.
It was taught.
You were a toddler. Nothing is working, hand, finger. You're trying to figure everything out. Everything's working on its own. You're not coherent, but you learn how to walk. You fall on your butt, you fall on your knees, you cry, you get up, you get a little bit of support, and you just keep going. Some kids don't even have support, but they figure it out on their own.
No, fear is definitely taught, and the way it was orchestrated to you is the way that you carry it with you, and then we grow up, and now we're these babies in these big bodies, and we don't know how to deal with this thing that we've been taught.
That's perfect.
It's supposed
Babies
to be bad.
Big bodies.
It's true.
I feel like you cannot bank on police officers and everybody to protect you. Sometimes you have to protect yourself. That's a thing. Like, you gotta learn how to protect whatever it is, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, whatever your niche is, shooting guns and keeping the gun in your holster. You have to learn these traits. Like all these people have guns, but nobody goes to the gun range and learn how to shoot. I feel like
the age in Florida just lowered from 21 to 18.
Exactly. I feel like you should be getting classes.
Or is going to.
Like, for you to drive a motor vehicle,
you have to take a class and pass
You got to take a fucking class. And if you can't pass the class, you got to practice so many hours to even get your learner's permit. And then when you get your learner's permit, you got to document all the driving that you're doing on a consistent basis so they know you're safe on the road and you're not causing anybody no harm.
Very true.
And nobody is taking 30-day gun classes. And in the end of your course, you should get a gun. Because then you will know the importance.
But doesn't that have to do with the laws? If it was a law, because it's a law that you have to have a driver's license. It's a law that you have to do this, you know? So, like, that's like a whole other topic. But you know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, though. Like, taking matters essentially into your own hands so you can make sure that, like, you're not at the hands of someone else that just because they wear a uniform, they're supposed to do this certain thing. Or they're supposed to know this certain thing.
Think about this mindset that a lot of people have. You're hoping in your mind that the person who's going to cause you pain is going to save you in that moment.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Like, the guy got a gun to you. He wants to rob you.
Yes.
You're standing there in his mercy
to
pray that either outside force stops him or
he changes his mind.
He changes his fucking mind. And he does not get you out of here. Or he does not rape you. Or he does not stab you. I'm not leaving that to no one. I'm going to pray that these hands ain't going to fail me. And God, I need you to back me up on this. That's it. God, back me up on this.
You going to die. It's like, me or you, and you're going to die.
Like, if I can feel that energy, like, damn, I might not make it out of this. There was times where, remember the reggae parties that they used to have, like the carnivals and all that in D.C.? There was one time I was probably like 19, 20 years old. I met a girl at the little Caribbean carnival. I'm like, damn, she's beautiful. Told my cousin she has a friend. Let's get in a car. Let's go pick these girls
Y'all
up.
be too excited.
Too excited.
Taking anybody home and y'all
What?
get robbed.
But no, it's not even that. I went in my mind like, yeah, man, we about to go hang out with these beautiful ass girls. They Caribbean. We met them at the Caribbean Carnival, not knowing.
Women be wicked.
Nah, they're not. They wasn't even wicked. It's not even that type of story. It's like they're not even wicked.
Oh, sorry, my assumption.
But the neighborhood was ratchet as a mother. We pull up. It's about first. It started off 3 dudes outside. It's me and my cousin.
Plot twist.
We go and knock on the door. Oh, we gonna be ready. Y'all can wait. Y'all can wait in the car. Whatever. Blah blah. I said, okay, cool. We get back in the car. It's like 8 p.m. 3 dudes turn into 5 guys. 5 guys turn into 10. 10 guys turn into 15. 15
Outside their
dudes
crib?
Outside of that neighborhood, the whole strip turns into 20 dudes. Me and my cousin in the car, like, hold up. What's going on? And I don't know if you know when the carnival is. It's it's close to 4th of July. I think it was like July 2nd or July 1st in DC.
I never participated.
Yeah. So DC, I think it was like July 1st. So it's like firecrackers is after now. Now is, you know what they do in the black neighborhoods or the hood neighborhood? They shooting guns.
The sound, yeah.
They're shooting guns to the sky. All we hear is da 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 da. I said, oh, these dudes got guns. I'm finna die.
He said, okay.
We called the girls. We're like, hey, there's a bunch of dudes outside. Hey, don't worry. We'll come get you. They come outside. They come and get us to escort us to their house. These dudes
like walk you inside.
These dudes see us. They see them. Yo, where y'all from? I question.
Really?
If I showed one level of fear, like a lot of people, if I showed any level of fear, they would have got me that day. You know what I mean? In certain black neighborhoods, people pop up on bushes and trees and woods. Random randos. They don't give a hell. Rats. If you look like me, you're going to shoot. Because either I look like I'm better off than you, or I look like I have some more sense than you. Or wherever they hate about themselves that they're willing to erase you out of this existence. And based on not having a lot of mental health or therapy or that goes into the black community, like lack of resources in the black community or urban community. So
to manage their emotions, so they're just gonna. But this, okay, continue.
You have to have confidence in yourself. And if I didn't have confidence in me doing martial arts, I would have spoke from a fearful place because I already just heard guns going off. I already know they outnumber us 20-2. So I'm talking direct. I was like, man, we're not from America, bro. We Haitian. And then when I said where I was from, out of the country, they was like, oh, y'all dudes be doing voodoo, da-da-da. You know, the first black...
So we're going to joke about you, immigrant.
Oh, damn. Like, black people don't got no chill with you, immigrant. Immigrant jokes.
But it's preferred that way.
Started
than
clowning.
the next way.
In fact, I laughed it off, you know, everybody. And that's how I learned that, damn, no matter the environment, no matter the neighborhood, I know how to talk myself out of some shit. So they cracking jokes, I'm cracking jokes back. They being funny, I'm being funny. I get in there, I go in there with the girls. When we come back out, they're like, bro, it was like at least 8 of them left out of 20. It was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. We was gonna fuck y'all dudes up, but y'all cool ass dudes. I didn't pray. I just knew if shit went down, I was gonna fight for my life. But them bullets was gonna be on my chest. It was not gonna be on my back. That's how I felt.
Woo, that's a bar.
Running is the worst thing that you can do. Giving your back to a person.
Yeah.
And ending like that, as long as I make sure I defuse
Go out strong.
Yeah.
Stand on it.
Or
I stand on what I said before I misinterpreted that story too.
Yeah.
But
you gotta stand on it. Because if you're gonna go out to protect yourself, you're gonna stand on it. Because you fought for your life.
Right.
Even though if it was the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, in that moment it was the right thing to do because you're still alive.
Okay then.
You gotta look at it perspective on everything.
Yeah.
And people don't have self-respect. Like, I feel like everybody need to learn how to protect themselves. And people can go their whole lifetime without learning how to do that.
Yeah, no,
or they
for sure.
think society will save them, or they think society will help. Like, I've seen dudes get beat up and everybody just walk around that shit because they don't want to be nowhere.
Or everybody pulls out their phone. Like, people are not like, you know, that's something that I definitely noticed from abroad. Like, when people are in pain or hurt in other places, people cohesively come together to help. Like, here it's very individual. Like, it's about you as an individual. Before we go, I want to know why do you think everyone needs to box, and how can they incorporate it in their life other than traditional ways of like, because I believe that people's excuse is they don't have the funds, they can't find a coach, or they don't have like gloves or something.
I'll say this: everybody has the fund to have a cell phone. Everybody has the fund to pay a cell phone bill. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a way to keep their lights on.
You got to see it as an essential, essentially.
Because then, everybody needs insurance.
Low key insurance.
Need life insurance. You better have some hand insurance.
Low key insurance.
I just feel like in life, everybody has something to fight for. You're either fighting for status, fighting for a position in your job. Everybody needs something. So why not learn that form of cardio? Running outside and fighting is two different forms of cardio. You're exerting yourself two different ways. Mm-hmm. So for sure. You learn. I don't care if it's just boxing. It could be karate. It could be whatever the hell you want it to be. As long as you have that confidence that shit goes down, I know I'm going to be good. Mm-hmm. A lot of people walk this earth not thinking like that. Like, oh, I will be protected. The police officers will be there. You call 911, the cop ain't going to get there until the damage is done.
It's going to take some time, yeah.
I'd rather not wake up in the ICU. I give people...
I'd rather...
You saw I threw that in there? I'd rather not wake up in the ICU. But... I'll tell a lot of people, until you see videos that I've seen, I'd rather be a victor, not a victim.
Yeah, that's something that my dad definitely put it. My dad was a corrections officer, and he always first of all, if someone kidnaps you, let them kill you right there, and let it have been with a good fight, that they can't drag you nowhere else.
My brother said the same thing to me.
No, for real.
A bad, toxic relationship. My brother was like, never let the murderer take you to the second location. Remember that?
No, for real.
The murderer, when she takes you to the second location,
it's over. Nobody's finding you there.
No one will find you. No one can reach you. You die right there and then. And they will torture you. And that torture can be 2 years, 6 months.
Kill me off right there. Me? Yeah.
There's murderers. Think about it. There's murderers and kidnappers that have people locked up in basements for 20 years. 20, 30 years.
Oh,
they don't want to just, they have power over you. They have domain over you. It's a game. It's an emotional high that I am above you and you know it. You have to beg me for water. Some people have God complex where you have to beg me for water. Yeah.
This is my coach, but I'm the coach now. You ain't playing with me like that.
You feel me? Some people have God complex where you have to beg them for water, beg them to go use the bathroom. The guys that be abusing their girls or the girls that be abusing their guys, it be like, you gotta cook when I ask you to cook, do when I ask you to do. These are how kidnappers, murderers, and all that do the same thing to everybody else. And police officers showed me that. Secret Service people that I know shows me that. It'd be like 48 Laws of Power is actually some evil people that actually live this world doing that to them.
I've actually never read that. I need to read that.
You have to read the way the enemy thinks. That's how I look at it.
That book gets brought up a lot, and I need to listen to the audiobook or something.
There's people that will happily let you walk in the door to success, and there's people that will step on your neck. So you should look at it the same way. Everybody who's robbing you ain't nice. Some people can rob you with a pen and a paper and take all your assets.
Ain't it?
And there's people that can rob you physically and cause you all mental type of pain. Both of them is mental. And the worst pain I feel like from both sides, you can't do nothing about it.
Oh, that's it. So you need to make sure that you're self-sufficient enough. Damn, there's so much I wanted to also ask you in regards to boxing and relationship, but you're gonna have to come back so we could talk about it. But I'm glad that the people got to know you a little bit and your history and your mentality around this thing that you love. Yes, sir.
But we do be acting like it's like a sofa. We chatting it up.
I told him it was going to go by so fast. But can you tell them where to find you?
That's Saint Life, THAT, not the getaway. Saint Life on Instagram, Dawson Saint Jour on TikTok.
I'll link them all below too.
That's about it that I care for.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, ma'am.